Localised is going really well. We're pretty excited about it. We've just doubled the amount of projects posted in our platform to over $20 million worth of total projects in the Localised platform, which means that's a lot of potential dollars staying in two regional economies, Bendigo and Geelong. So we launched just before Christmas, like literally Christmas Eve. And since then, we've now got nearly 500 users. So that's business owners, project managers, kind of sales folks from the businesses who provide goods and services to other businesses, and a lot of buyers. So Localised is a startup, and we have pivoted from another product we had in market called Pundit Connect, which was a platform for professional services. Again, it was a marketplace to try and connect buyers and suppliers. And what we learned when we launched that in Geelong and had that going for about a year was that people wanted to work locally. They wanted to work with other businesses that they could meet with face to face. And especially in a regional economy like Geelong, that was really important. Not only is it better for business if your supplier understands your needs better, but it's also better for their economy and all the social dividends that come with local procurement. And so we learnt from that, and we went into we raised some more money on the back of pivoting to Localised. And so since then we rebuilt an entire platform and have effectively kind of started from scratch again, but on a much better foundation in the opportunity of local procurement in regional economies. And that's the beauty of startups, is that it's always better to be transparent and move really fast. Because if you're transparent, you can get feedback really fast. And that's going to help you grow your business and get the product market fit right. So completely open about it all. Well, I like to think of them as mentors primarily, because they are very experienced business people. And every board meeting is both really exciting and really painful in that they ask really hard questions, which is fantastic. It's what we need. Like we talk to our customers primarily. Our customers are who we take direction from, no one else. But it's our board who give us the kind of guidance on how to structure the business right, how to focus our energies. Great partnership with them. So we have 3 people on our board, plus the CEO, James Baird, and there are a couple of other investors who are more silent. For the investors who don't sit on our board, we have a really good kind of spread. We have some legal skills in one of our investors. Mm-hmm. We've got great kind of business acumen in all of our investors, and that's really helpful. Being able to get that invested in advice from professionals is really helpful. So we started in Bendigo just before Christmas, and that was based on a partnership with the Bendigo Business Council. They were really supportive of local procurement, so we grabbed that and ran with it, working really closely with them. And that was our first toe in the water, so to speak. So we had a very crappy product. So apologies to many of the Bendigo businesses I met with. And we had a lot of in-principle support from Bendigo businesses that we used to learn and grow our product. And it got to a point in early February where the product was good enough. And so that was our kind of decision. That was the point where we could make a decision to expand to a second market. So we didn't want to diversify, also spread our ability to talk to and listen to our customers. So that's why we focus on one region primarily. My business partner is in Geelong, so it makes obvious sense to go there next. It's also a local economy or a regional economy that's twice the size of Bendigo. We do fantastic support from their Chamber of Commerce. So in that partnership, we've become their preferred procurement platform, and like they are behind Localised 100% and going a long way to promote Localised to the Geelong region, and that's why within a week we've seen our user growth by about another 30% and twice as many projects. I hope so, because we're not dogmatic about what local means. Local means different things to different businesses. Some can be at a postcode level, some can be at like a town level, some can be at a state level. So we're pivoting away from being a regionally focused platform and building tools just to be local, so that if you can't find the supplier you need within your close proximity, you can expand. Because finding out that someone isn't there, or there isn't a supplier who can deliver at the capacity you need in your local community, that's telling as well. And so there's real opportunities to be able to surface that information and help businesses grow in and to fill some of those gaps. We're going for a bit of a Netflix model, which is like a low subscription fee and really high value proposition, which is only going to work for us when we're Australia-wide. And so that's why we need to go really fast, to go from Bendigo to Geelong to 3 large regional communities to Australia, Victoria-wide, then Australia-wide. That all needs to happen within about 6 months. I have 2 kids. I live in Kyneton. I have had lots of employment in organisations that had 10,000 staff, 40,000 staff. I was a consultant working in some of the banks, and things were very slow. I was an agile consultant, and so an opportunity came up with the partner of one of my family friends, and over a beer a couple of summers ago we talked about it, and the opportunity became real, and I jumped on it. To be able to grow a sustainable business is really exciting. There's risks, obviously, but I think there's risks in not growing and not learning and not pushing yourself as well. So I've got a very happy family and I love the town that I live in. Why not take the next step and try and create something meaningful? Moving to Kyneton. As a kid, I'd always had holidays throughout regional Victoria, thanks to my family. So I was always passionate about beautiful places outside of the capital. And I moved to Kyneton 3.5 years ago and wanted to do something to improve the local economy. Yeah, again, it's that concept of local. It means different things to different people. And so if you kind of focus on being able to focus in on a small proximity and then be able to expand it or contract it to find opportunities in terms of like new projects or new procurements, or to find suppliers to help you grow your business. Places like Denali or St Arnaud or Canoa Bridge, they have a supply chain and they have industries and with supply chains that support them. And so the suppliers can register, and if we know what their capabilities are, what goods and services they provide and what capacity projects they can deliver, like we can make that really visible to a buyer. Someone may be there to build a new bridge or a new road, or they may want to set up a warehouse there, or they may want to grow their agricultural business there. We want to make the supply chain really visible to them, so that if they can go local, they should go local. Yeah. Obviously, businesses need to follow the bottom line the most, And so that's why we have built sets of tools to build capacity in local supply chains, to give them, to make future procurements and to make the procurements that are coming up in 3, 6 or 12 months time more visible to them, gives the local suppliers a chance to build capacity, to be more competitive and to win those tenders. That's kind of the mission of Localised, is to build capacity in local economies or regional Australia, and that's to give local suppliers a chance to build capacity and be competitive. And so we're working very closely with councils and large businesses and medium-sized businesses who have a supply chain, and getting them to advertise their procurements in advance, to give local suppliers a chance to be more competitive, get the right advice, get staff, get insurances, so that they can win the tenders over people out of region. Primarily through our partnerships, through the Bendigo Business Council, through Peter Jeffries and the City of Greater Bendigo. Social media, obviously, that's a pretty cheap way, you get great data, but that's not necessarily where our supply chain is. Like our supply chain, especially in regional Australia, aren't, digitally that savvy. Many are, but many aren't as well. And so we're exploring ways to be able to use traditional media and through partnerships to reach them, to kind of get our value proposition to them and get them involved, both as a buyer and also the supply chain. Money talks. If there's opportunities in the platform, then they're incentivized to kind of create a basic profile, and I can tell them when there's opportunities in the area. Discovery. Localised, one of our kind of core propositions is about discovery, is helping suppliers become more discoverable. So Localised can help them have a profile about the individuals that you do business with. It could be the salesperson in an organisation, or it could be the owner, to help them find the work and to connect with the buyers, but also for buyers to be able to discover local suppliers who have the capability and capacity to grow their business. It hasn't played out fully yet, but there was a beautiful connection between the local kind of TAFE, Bendigo Kangan Institute, and a digital supplier. I was speaking to the owner of this agency, and it was only when we had a significant project that was approaching $1 million in value that he paid attention. And I've seen that he has reached out to the buyer to find out more about the opportunity, because he plans to grow his business. And so with the chance, and when there's no guarantee, but with the knowledge of this work that's coming up in 6 months' time, he can position his business to be more competitive and win that job. I really hope it plays out. It takes an ecosystem of support with, I'm a fairly visual person, so I see the founders as the kind of centre of that ecosystem, but it wouldn't be possible without the people who do stuff. So the people that build outside, the local developers in Geelong. It wouldn't happen without the support of partnerships. So Leah Satori and the Bendigo Business Council, and it wouldn't happen without obviously capital, our investors. And there's many other kind of pieces to that pie, in terms of media partnerships and people who are willing to share the word, especially for our product. It's all about local. So it's this really kind of tangled web of of people who can support an entrepreneur financially, non-financially, to give guidance. And also in that mix is the customer. So no idea will ever become a product without a customer. Make mistakes, like actively try to make mistakes and make sure you've got systems that you can learn from it. So be able to make those mistakes with the customer, but have a great rapport with that customer and be able to learn from that experience and adapt your product. So keep refining this idea into a basic product, and then just keep iterating and iterating and iterating and improving that product until it works. I don't buy into that tall poppy thing. And having come from agile software development and digital, there are no tall poppies. There's occasional sparks that happen, but it's never just an individual either. Like I've talked about that ecosystem before. Like there's like the founders and the entrepreneurs in the middle who are willing to kind of push forward with something, but it wouldn't happen without everyone else in that ecosystem.